was truth in journalism, where brave men and women gave voice to the voiceless. But then the corporations bought the journalist, poisoning the news that we are fed. With those tainted sources, all we ever ate was a steady diet of status quo. This hijacked narrative is the truth of mass suffering, injustice and corruption throughout our land. Status quo, status quo, status quo, status quo. To expose this shift to oligarchy came a band of honest journalists. They left the studio and hit the streets to give the microphone back to the people. From sea to sea, the people were empowered to share their truth. Their voices no longer stifled, reclaimed their power. Join the media revolution now.
Hey there, Jordan Sheridan, live Monday, July 15th, 2019. And what a day, 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 what a day. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was just coming from covering a protest around the 5-year anniversary of the murder of Eric Garner, if you recall, the Staten Island man who was murdered on July 17th, 2014. He was basically strangled to death by an NYPD officer. And infamously, he was saying, while being choked to death, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe," which kind of became a national rallying cry for Black Lives Matter. So I was out there covering that. I interviewed the mother of Eric's 5-year-old daughter, who was only 3 months old when her father, Eric Garner, was strangled to death. So Ty is going to be putting together that footage. I have a little clip I want to show you today. I'm not going to be live that long because I actually have my loving father. My family is getting together here for dinner in about an hour, so they get mad at me when I'm late, and I'm usually late. So that's the deal. Hold on, farewell. I am live. Doo-doo-doo. So I wanted to, and right now, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, and Ilhan Omar are going to be speaking, reacting to President Trump's vile words. So I'm going to be quick because you might want to watch that and do some other things. I'll have a reaction tomorrow on their President Trump's latest vile attacks, where he basically suggested Ilhan Omar is, I think he's trying to suggest that she is a member of Al-Qaeda, really, which is deplorable and disgusting. So again, I'm not going to be long because you might want to watch that, and I got to go to dinner. But I wanted to thank you. Let me show you where we're at here. We passed 50,000, count them, 50,000 subscribers like 2 hours ago. Jesus, we're already at 50,200. So we're really moving and shaking here. We're up, I think, over 8,000, over 8,000 subscribers since we went to the Miami debate, and we are now past 50,000 subscribers. So a little thank you, little graphic that the great Colin Tooley made to highlight us reaching 50,000 subscribers. Let me tell you folks, as somebody who obviously created a successful YouTube channel at the Young Turks before Status Quo, it ain't easy doing this every day. It's not easy getting subscribers. It's not easy growing 1,000 subscribers, let alone 50,000 subscribers. It's hard. It's also hard for those of you familiar with YouTube because YouTube has been doing things to basically make channels like this almost impossible to find if you're not already a subscriber. We don't really show up in people's recommended videos. Viewers tend to not get notified when we're live or when we've posted a video. I have a lot of viewers telling me all the time that they subscribe, but now they show up as unsubscribed. It's not just us dealing with this, it's a lot of YouTube channels. So it's taken us longer to get to that 50,000 mark because basically we're being suppressed by this very platform. But it is what it is. 50,000 subscribers is kind of that first milestone, I would say, on YouTube. Obviously, you get to 100,000, and then you focus on 250,000, 500,000, a million. Rochelle, there you go. I never get notifications for this channel. So basically, it is a problem, the suppression, and that's why we are so focused on growing our membership. That's our Status Quo membership, which is, as you know, this is a little outdated. We're now at 620, but growing our membership one member at a time. That's statusquo.com/join. I say it all the time till I'm blue in the face. You could become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. We got $20 a month or $179 annually. You get great bonus content, behind the scenes footage, all of that good stuff you get as a Status Quo member. We are really trying to grow our membership because there might come a day where we're not really on YouTube, either because YouTube has kicked us off or we've chosen to leave. Or we are on YouTube, but we're also going live on our own platform and trying to focus on other platforms. We don't want to be reliant on YouTube as a business proposition, as a business model. So that's why, if tomorrow all hell broke loose and YouTube found a reason to get rid of us, as long as we have a strong paid membership model that could sustain our business, we could figure out where to broadcast and where you guys would be able to see us. But if we don't have that sustainable $5 a month, $10 a month, $20 a month, or $179 annual, $179 annual model, which our business model is paid membership, we would be SOL, if you know what I mean. So I want to thank you because when I started this channel, it wasn't even Status Quo, it was just my own personal channel. And I started the channel along with Jen, who was working with me at that time. I had just basically been fired from the Young Turks a few months before that. I was going through some things emotionally. There was some lies put out there about me. And I really didn't know if this was going to work. I really didn't know if people would give me another look. And I didn't know if it was going to grow to 5,000 subscribers, let alone 50,000. We moved the channel to become Status Quo, I believe, last summer, so about a year ago. And it's been growing and growing and growing. Jen's not in the super chat because she's on her way back. She was in Philadelphia today covering Bernie Sanders rallying with hospital workers. So Status Quo is in the field whenever we can be, and we are covering things that no other independent media outlet is covering. And we're doing it because we have the will to do it. A lot of people talk about being independent media, but they tend to sit in a studio and they tend to just pontificate about Donald Trump and Russia and kind of substanceless, clicky stories that don't really affect real people. We choose a different way. We choose to be out there with the people. And if you haven't seen this yet, let me show you our latest promo video, which I think tells it all.
Show up or you're not doing enough.
Power to the people!
Unless you have credentials to come in here, you don't belong in here.
Once upon a time, there was truth in journalism, where brave men and women gave voice to the voiceless. But then the corporations bought the journalist, poisoning the news that we are fed. With those tainted sources, all we ever ate was a steady diet of status quo. This hijacked narrative is the truth of mass suffering, injustice, and corruption throughout our land.
Use your voice!
Status quo.
We have at the border our concentration camps.
Status quo.
stand for something or die in the morning.
Status quo.
You're a racist bigot.
Status quo. To expose this shift to oligarchy came a band of honest journalists. They left the studio and hit the streets to give the microphone back to the people.
I don't think the Democratic Party is doing what it needs to do.
The people were empowered to share their truth.
Tulsi Gabbard is a threat to the establishment.
No longer stifled, reclaimed their power. Join the media revolution now.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statusquo.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statusquo.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you. So that was the latest promo video that Ty put together. A little courtesy of our favorite opera singer who was nice enough to make an opera song for us. That's my friend, Carmen Elisa Cancel. Amazing opera singer, and we just got an idea to make an opera song for Status Quo. I wrote the lyrics along with her, and that's what's there. So just so you know, right now, Ilhan Omar, Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Presley, Congresswoman Tlaib, and Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez are at a press conference responding to President Trump's new round of abhorrent, horrific, racist, bigoted, jingoistic, fear-mongering statements. Earlier today, he suggested that Ilhan Omar is essentially kind of like part of Al-Qaeda. I think that's what he was trying to imply, because he's trying to gin up the white nationalists and the racist base that he has. And it's disgraceful. Marcus was live earlier and did a little bit on that. I'll do a little bit more tomorrow, because if you missed it, this live stream is going to be short. It's my father's birthday 2 days ago, so we're going out to dinner for my dad. So I wanted to go live before I go to dinner to just thank you. You know, I don't want to pretend that this is the hardest job in the world. There's people that work much harder jobs than myself, Jen, Ty, Colin, and Marcus. But this is hard work. And I want to give you an example of, you know what, actually, let me show you some of what I did earlier today. So, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts after as to connect it to why this is hard work. If you came a little bit late, I was a little bit late to starting the live stream because this afternoon I was covering a protest. Wednesday is the 5-year anniversary of the murder of Eric Garner in Staten Island, the black man who was choked to death by New York City police. Thus far, that police officer, no criminal charges, no one has been fired, nothing has been done. Wednesday is the statute of limitations expires for federal charges to be brought. So past Wednesday, the statute of limitations is up for federal charges to be brought. So I was out covering this protest, and Jewel, who is the mother of Eric Garner's youngest child, Legacy, was there with Legacy. So Ty is going to put together all of the footage, but I want to show you some of it. It's extremely powerful. It's extremely sad, but I want to show you some of it. The screen is going to go black for just 1 second because I didn't have time to load it. Give me 1 second. You
take it, baby.
My name is Legacy Garner, the daughter of Drew Miller and my dad, Eric Garner. No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace.
I can hear my brother crying, and I can't breathe.
Now I'm
In a struggle, and I just can't leave. Out the violence of the racist police.
And we're
He's
not
gonna stop until people are free. Say what? We ain't gonna stop until people are free.
Yes, thank you. Good job, lad. My name is Jewel Miller. mother of Legacy Garner. Oh, 5 years it's been. They're waiting for the clock to end, to tick out. We have a couple more days. We're asking the feds to step in and do what's right. Eric was murdered. He was lynched before us for the world to see. In this ongoing fight, oh boy, I want everybody to come out July 17th and stand with us in Staten Island on the scene where Eric was lynched, where he was robbed of his life. Oh man, please come out and support us. I should not have to be standing here on today, 5 years later, asking. Still 5.
Asking, begging for justice. That's what we're doing. We're begging for justice.
Oh man. It's been a long haul.
It's been a long road.
A long road for us. But we're still here. We're still strong.
We're going to be here.
And we're going to continue to fight. Long after July 17th. Eric's name will live on through his children, through his community. He will not just be known as a murder victim. He will be known as a man, as a loving father, as a friend, as a husband, as a son, as a father. Oh boy.
This isn't right that we have to be out here today. This is hard. I mean, take a look at our faces. I mean, we are deeply affected by this.
Okay.
And we're standing out here begging, pleading for justice.
The fight still continues. I would ask everyone to please come out.
Please.
July 17th on Staten Island.
Yes.
We'll be there all day, all night. We plan on shutting the block down. We'll be there all night. So you guys please come out, support us, stand with the family, stand with the community. Staten Island is still in mourning. My daughter's 5. It's been 5 years. It's been 5 years.
5 long years.
And she was robbed. She starts school in September. And he won't be there to see her walk through those doors
for her first day.
For her first day of school. So I'm asking the community to come out, continue to show us your support, your strength, your love, show your outrage. Let the system know that we will not tolerate this. You cannot keep continuing to kill us.
And we're not going away.
Black and brown people are important.
We matter.
Daniel Pantaleo needs to be fired. Not only Daniel Pantaleo, there were other officers there that were involved on that day. The EMS, I'm holding you accountable as well.
Yes.
They did nothing. And I'm pissed because that responder that was there, she knew that Eric was dead. And she actually said, "Sir, you can get up now, help is here." She knew that there was no help. She was not there to help.
So that was just some of the stuff I shot this afternoon. And obviously, I'm not going to lie to you, just covering some of this stuff, you come away feeling just sad. Sad to see what this country really is. I mean, a man was just choked to death on camera, lynched, as Jewel said. Nothing was done. And to be honest with you, nothing probably will be done. And I say that as a white dude who's never had to go through what Jewel, Legacy, her daughter, and other black people have had to go through. And covering this stuff, sometimes you get a little numb to it because you feel like you're just going to be covering the same thing over and over and over again, probably for the next 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 years until I can no longer do it. And is anything ever going to change? That thought does go through my mind sometimes. But as I think about us reaching 50,000 subscribers, which is a great first step, it's a great first milestone. Thank you for helping us get there, especially to the originals, the OG subscribers that were with us from early on, and our new people. What kind of gives me continuing fire to keep covering these things, and by the way, like many other things we cover, I was really the only, there was one other person from the press at this thing, I think like a local Brooklyn paper, but local outlets from New York City weren't there. No national outlets were there. I probably doubt they'll be there on Wednesday for the 5-year anniversary of Eric Garner's murder, which it was a murder. But what kind of gives me fire to keep doing this, even though a lot of these things to cover do make me sad, they do make me angry, they do I'm only human, so sometimes I feel slightly hopeless. Is what I'm doing changing anything? But what gives me hope is when I turn off the camera or the microphone and I speak with the people. Like I spoke with Jewel for about 10 minutes before I left. Seeing how much they appreciate us being there, and seeing how much it means to people for us to give a damn, and seeing how much people care that we care. It helps people. You could help people in a lot of ways in life. You could be a nurse, a doctor, a therapist, a whole lot of different things, a healer. And I think that my way, and I think Jen feels this way, Ty feels this way, is just giving a microphone to people who are getting ignored by the people whose responsibility it is to cover their stories. Shining a spotlight on these things, even if it doesn't make a difference all the time, it makes a difference to be there. And every single event that I go to that barely has any media, if it has any media, I feel proud as a person and as a journalist that I'm going and I'm covering these things. Because sometimes you start covering things, event by event, protest by protest, things like that, and it doesn't really feel like anything's happening, but all of a sudden you're growing in subscribers. And all of a sudden, people start taking you seriously, particularly the powerful, because you have a growing audience and a big audience and an active audience. I always tell you, I want an activist audience. I don't want to just tell you what's going on. I want to inspire you to do something about it. It's not enough just to inform you. We want you to do something. That's my goal with this journalism. So the reason I'm showing you that, and again, Ty is going to be making it into a longer video because there were other people who spoke, is to show you just the insane injustices that mark up this country. Everybody reacts understandably horrified to the things our president is saying, telling women of color lawmakers to go back to where they came from, which is beyond racist. It's horrific and it's abhorrent what this president is saying, particularly since 3 of them were born in America and the 4th one, who was born in Somalia, is now an American citizen. But what we cover is beyond the horrific words. It's the horrific injustice and the lack of attention to that injustice. Very important, because racism or injustice or corruption does not just come through words. It comes through actions or inactions. This is a perfect example of that. It's 5 years since this man on camera was choked to death for standing on a street corner in Staten Island. What did they say? Selling cigarettes with untaxed, choked to death on camera. Not one person has been charged with a crime. Not one police officer has been fired. Can you imagine how his mother feels? How his children feel? How that little girl in that video who's 5 years old, when she's more aware of the world, is going to feel not having a father? So I'm proud that Status Quo shows up to cover these things. And I'm proud that 621 of you now, it's now 621 members, have signed on the bottom line, putting your money where your mouth is to support us doing this, because it ain't cheap. You know, I have to afford to live. Jen has to afford to live. Ty has to afford to live. Marcus has to afford to live. We need money to travel, which is not cheap. We need money for equipment, for, it costs money to do marketing for the company, advertising, social media, to get insurance. There's a lot of things that go into any business, particularly an independent media one. And all this costs money. So I thank you to those of you who aren't just watching us for free on YouTube, but are helping us build this thing from the ground up. And I'm saying from the ground up, borrowing from Bernie Sanders, because we're building a media, what I think is a media revolution from the ground up. We haven't had one investor that's a fat cat plutocrat. We had a small investor at the beginning who was a viewer. A really great guy. He's a viewer, and he just loved our content. I met him at a conference when I was at the Young Turks, and he helped us in the beginning with a small investment, which helped us get the equipment. Most of that investment was spent on equipment, and a little left over to travel. Other than that, we've had nothing. It's all been GoFundMe, which we're now on the doorsteps, by the way, of 65,000. We're $160 away from 65,000. So if there's any wonderful man or woman in this chat right now that wants to put us over the top to 65,000, we got a lot of people in America watching, but also a lot of people internationally. And even better than that almost 65,000 number, 1,400 of you have donated, which is amazing to me. The largest donation we've had has been $5,000 from a viewer. And again, we haven't taken a dime from Democratic Party donors or Republican Party donors or corporate America. Not a cent. And I don't plan on it. And you know what? It is. Don't worry about canceling your membership. Curious. Take care of your situation. But thanks for saying so. It is harder to do it this way. Make no mistake about it. The way we're doing it is harder. The way we're doing it, just like breaking our backs, literally. I just had my second back surgery in a year. Going out to cover these events. Jen was out in Philadelphia today covering Bernie, rallying with hospital workers. They're trying to shut down a hospital to put up luxury condos. Does that sound like the United Corporations of America to you? I just showed you, covering the Eric Garner event. Marcus has been going out in the field in Nevada covering things. Ty is going to be moving to New York. Ty is going to be moving to New York at the end of this month to join me full-time here so we could cover a lot more events. I haven't covered as many events as I would in the field because I don't have the equipment and I'm certainly not a cameraman. So Ty being here is going to make a big difference. We could drive up to New Hampshire to cover Bernie, Tulsi, candidates up in New Hampshire. We can cover candidates in Pennsylvania. We can cover other stories within driving distance, train, cheap flight on the East Coast. It's going to be a huge, huge difference. And that's actually a good point. If you can't become a member, that's great. Do me the torture. Let the ads play on YouTube for a little bit before you click skip ad, because that's another way we can make revenue. And of course, there's Super Chat. This is a Super Chat. There's GoFundMe. There's a whole lot of ways you could contribute. But what I believe, I firmly believe this, and this is why I started Status Quo, and even before the Young Turks let me go, honestly, I was already planning to leave at some point and do something like this. I firmly believe that the most important thing, whether it's as a person or as a journalist, is to show up. The more you show up, even if every rally, every protest doesn't have a lot of people, even if every event doesn't, you feel like you're the only press here and you're kind of broadcasting into a cave because where's the rest of the people to care? Because a lot of these events I go to, it's not a whole lot of people. the rest of the people in the environment are just passing by and totally clueless to what's going on. Regardless of all that, I think the more we show up, the more we cover these things, the more awareness people are going to have to what's really going on in this country. I view status quo and what we do as kind of a warning signal. I'm not saying we're Paul Revere here, like the British are coming, but I do feel we're trying to make more and more people aware of the true brutality that this country has become. I got news for you, folks. This country is not some shining democracy. President Trump would tell me, then leave. This is an oligarchy. It's becoming a totalitarian oligarchy. The corporations have seized control of our government. The corporations have seized control of our media. There's an information war going on right now in this country that the corporations are winning. When they say corporations, I lump the media in there with them, because CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, Washington Post are just a subsidiary of corporate America. They just either do stenography or propaganda for corporate America. That's the truth, folks. So we are trying very hard. Jen works 7 days a week, so do I. Ty works hard. Colin, our great editor. Colin, by the way, Ty does not edit these live streams I do. Colin does. Colin has a full-time job and edits them at night. He's basically part-time with us. I'd love to make him full-time. That's just the more funding we get, that will hopefully happen in the future. Because Colin has been with me since day one. When I started this channel, just as Jordan Chariton reports, before it became Status Quo, Colin was editing for me. Basically, I think I might have been paying him out of my savings like $200 a month, something totally small, just because I didn't have any more to pay him. And he was doing it because he's a diehard and he believes in this as much as I do. And he believes in our purpose and our values. So, yeah, I'm incredibly proud. And to be very clear, this would not be possible without Jen. Jen co-founded Status Quo with me just from the idea stage, before the name came out, before we were incorporated, before anything. Jen is my co-founder. She might not be on camera as much, but she is very, very important to this. And I would not be standing here without Jen. And Jen, to me, it's more important that I bring people on that share this vision than have people that are traditional journalists or have a lot of experience in journalism. That could be learned. But you can't teach someone to have a vision to fight against injustice, against corruption, and to want to give a microphone back to the people. I didn't make that our slogan just because I thought it was cute. I believe it. We want to give people that don't have a voice in corporate media, that don't have a voice in think tanks, that don't have a voice even in nonprofit America. We want to give people a voice, and that's what we're trying to do. And it's catching on. It's catching on. I don't think we've grown over 8,000 subscribers since Miami. We've grown to pass 50,000 subscribers I launched this in March of 2018. So what is that? 14 months, 50,000 subscribers. And for those of you that don't know, we have been suppressed by YouTube at every single turn. I don't want to harp on it, but if we weren't being suppressed, if this was not a situation, and by the way, David Pakman and Kyle Kalinske have done videos on this, it is insane the lengths that YouTube has gone in changing its algorithm to suppress independent journalists and independent channels like this. And thank you, Carol Edwards. Again, just put us over the top. So we didn't just reach 50,000. We're now at $65,000 in the GoFundMe. God damn it, I wish I had my blower. I still haven't gotten my new blower. Thank you, Carol. I'm waiting for you to come back from vacation. I definitely want to talk to you. This Carol Edwards has given so much money recently. She is a true status slayer and a part of the Coup de Cavalry. So is Kelly Elaine. I mean, Kelly Elaine is one of the #1 coup d'etat members of the Coup de Cavalry. The amount of money you've given us, not just amount, but consistently, donation after donation after donation. It's truly amazing to me, your dedication to this. and I hope we're making you proud. And let's not be too sentimental, because I got news for the establishment. I got news for corporate media. And thank you again, Carol. We are coming. We're not stopping at 50,000. We're not stopping at 100,000. And we're also trying very strongly. If you're not a member yet and you're watching right now, if you are not a member and you're watching, I very, very sincerely ask you, for $5 to $10 a month, is real journalism worth $5 to $10 a month, or $179 annually? Because we're trying to build this from the ground up, and a people-powered media revolution. That's why we're trying to make it as low as possible, $5 a month, $10 a month. Annual membership obviously helps us, because that's money in right away. But either whatever you can do. I mean, obviously, if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you don't know if you're going to keep the lights on this month, we get it. We don't want your money if it's going to make your situation worse. But if you can, membership is how we grow for the long haul. And we are in this for the long haul. There's going to be some bumps in the road, but we are in this for the long haul. So I thank you for watching. Sorry the live stream is short today. It's Larry Chariton's 62nd birthday, my father. I'm going to have some words with him tonight about Trump, who he supports, because I think Trump has left the station. I think he's a racist trying to start a race war. And I need to have words with you, Larry. So I got to go to dinner, my family's meeting, and I'm already going to be late, which they're going to yell at me for. So again, thank you for the 50,000. We're not stopping here. So 50,000 and beyond. We'll have content going up over the next few hours and days with Jen covering Bernie rallying with the healthcare workers at the hospital being shut down, my interviews at this protest for Eric Garner, and some other reporting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, we got $20,000 to go in the GoFundMe. Carol Edwards just put us over the top. 20,000. I think we could do it. It's going to take a little time, but I think we could do it. Every amount counts. $5 in the GoFundMe is the minimum to anybody. $5, $10, whatever you can leave. But most importantly, become a member, statuscoup.com/join. And remember, most people are not lacking compassion in this country. Most people have no fucking idea what is happening in this country or all around them. Peace out.